Hi everyone, it's Devon from the Maniology team here with live on Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. You can find us here on a stamping journey. Thank you so much for joining us. We love covering tutorials, techniques, and hacks. And I'm so excited to discuss the details with you. So if you haven't followed us, please make sure you hit the follow button and you hit our like button so that way you can get updated every single time we go live with a new video or just all our little fun tidbits that we post. So how is everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. I feel like I haven't seen you in a little bit. And I'm really, really excited. So today we have lots of fun things to discuss, and I cannot wait to show you. How is everybody? Did you guys eat today? Are you having a good week? I hope you're having an amazing week. So let's get into this because I'm sure you guys want to know what are we going to be talking about today. If you haven't already figured out from the thumbnail, we're going to be going over a bunch of newly released plates, and these are some stunning floral designs here. Let me try and make sure. There we go. So we're going to be going over plate M612. So you can see lots of beautiful flower designs. And plate M606. This one I'm super excited about. Orchids have been so popular this year and last year. I feel like they've been trending for a minute. So we had to have our own orchid plate. And then, of course, every summer, hibiscus are always in. I feel like hibiscus have been very popular this summer. So we're going to talk about all these fun things. Let's get started with our, maybe we'll go from easier to difficult because I feel like this plate is going to be a little bit easier to work with, especially if you are newer to stamping. So I'm going to actually switch this out. Here we go. So I painted my base yellow. You can use whatever light yellow you want. We're pretty much going to cover this up, but I just wanted to have something on there so that way we have a nice strong base to start with. And then we're going to do a little sponging over this. So you're going to need excuse me. You're going to need a makeup wedge like this, something that's really nice and porous. And then what you're going to do is grab a few of your favorite colors. So because it's summer, I'm going with these stunning colors. So I have Waikiki. I think this is, I think these two came from, or this was, this is Carnation, and then this one was, it came out when we did Mani by Me, and it was with the color Zinnia. The sticker came off. Sorry about that, guys. So it's like a really purpley pink. So what you're going to want to do is take your yellow for this I'm using pencils down, and then we're just going to tap, 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 tap. Random tapping all over. And then we're going to do more random tapping. Okay, wait, I have to put this down. Oh my goodness. The polishes do not want to open. So then I'm going to go in and put some of this really pretty color here, and then I'm going to tap and put some of this purpley pink polish. So you're just going to basically want to cover your sponge. And you're going to end up with something like this. So this is our first layer. Then you can go back and brighten certain colors. So I think I want to go ahead and add more purple. So then when I do this, I'm just going to sponge purple in certain spots like that. So that way we can kind of see it a little better. And then now I'm going to go ahead and sponge a little bit more of that kind of rosy color. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply some more of that peach color. Like that. It's okay if it looks kind of like it's not a smooth kind of finish, because we're going to cover it up with another stamped image. So this really is just to get something going on the bottom of the image, so you don't have to worry too much. I cut off my sponge so that way I could go ahead and add a little bit more. Now I'm going to add some of that yellow back, and I'm going to try and put it in places where there was lighter color, like that. Okay. That looks pretty good. I do like the purple, so I'm going to try a little bit more. Again, you don't have to be as crazy. You can pick whatever colors you want to. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing. There, I like how that turned out. So I'm going to leave that alone. Not going to touch it anymore. Now we're going to go in with our black stamping polish. You could also do this look with like 2 colors if you don't want to use so many polishes. And that's okay too. It'll still be very, very pretty. So we're going to go in with our black stamping polish. I want to select the anthurium design. I really like anthuriums. They're so pretty, and it's so cute because they just look like hearts. And then you're just going to take your black stamping polish completely. If you're new to stamping, cover the entire design. I know it seems like you're wasting a lot of polish, but it actually isn't that much polish. And I rather have you be able to get a good pickup on the first try than applying polish, not getting a good pickup, and then having to redo it. It's very, very irritating. So I rather have you guys use a little extra polish and get the perfect pickup than have you use less polish and then you end up with a spotty pickup. So after that happens, you're going to go ahead and take a detail brush and then a green polish. I'm going to be using Line, but again, you can use whatever you want. I'm just going to add some right there. Or if you feel confident enough, you can go ahead and use the brush to color in the leaves. So we're doing a bit of reverse stamping now. So I'm working with, out of the 2 designs that I'm doing on this plate, this one is going to be the harder design. And then we're going to be doing a much easier design after this that only requires 2 colors, or well, 3. So we're just coloring our leaves green. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And then that's it. So you can leave that alone. Oh wait, I see that we have some stems here. So let's color our stems. Be careful when you're doing your stems though, you don't want to accidentally smudge something, especially because they're so thin. So make sure your polish is nice and tacky. It's not going to be really dry, because if so, you're going to have problems later. Okay, I think I got all of it. Okay, so we're going to give that a couple of seconds to dry. And then let's try moving on to our other design while that's happening. So for this next design, again, go ahead and apply more polish. So we're going to select this design. This is called Tiare. There are other versions that look kind of similar, which is it the spider lily? Yeah, I think the spider lily is another like very popular looking flower that looks kind of similar to the Tiare. Tiare are from, I want to say, Tahiti. I know that we have them here as well. And they're really pretty white flowers. And sometimes, like Polynesian dancers or Tahitian dancers will wear them in their hair. So you could apply your black stamping polish all over this. And then have your, there we go. Oh, that's a really, really nice pickup. You guys are sending me the good stamping juju, and I appreciate it. So we're gonna put this on the side. We're gonna do 2 designs from each plate, and it was really hard for me to choose, but I was finally able to do it. So again, we're gonna use our Rhine polish. Any green stamping polish you have. Doesn't have to be this. I know you guys always ask, what colors are you using? What colors are you using? Sometimes I don't like to say, because I want you guys to create your own masterpiece with whatever colors you have. The focus isn't so much on what colors I'm using. It's about the technique, or it's about the technique or just the vibe that you're trying to create. So you're just going to go ahead and fill in those leaves. This part is pretty easy, because if you look, majority of the design is flowers. There's only some leaf parts on the side of the design, but the center is flowers, lots of flowers. Also, if you are new to reverse stamping, I recommend making sure that you have like a white sheet of paper underneath you. So that way it makes it easier for you to see the details of the design. And then you'll know what's what. Because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to, like, when you're looking at the design this way, to be like, okay, wait, what is the flowers, or like which ones are the leaves? But if you have a white piece of paper under you, you can see everything so much more clearly. Then it almost looks, well, I mean, to me, it looks almost exactly like a coloring book, right? Or an uncolored coloring book. Okay, there we go. Oh, got a little spot right there. And that's pretty much it for this. So we're gonna let this dry for a bit. And now we can probably go back to our other design. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? We need something sticky so that way we can go ahead and transfer our design. Hold on one moment. So if you want, you can use our sticky base coat. Let's give it a try. So just apply a generous portion of sticky base coat to the nail. Then you're gonna wait about 30 seconds to a minute until the nail gets slightly tacky. So you can tell when it's closer to being dry based on the reflection, or if you want, you can do a touch test. So now we have to wait for a little bit while this dries. And I painted my base here with BAM white, and this is what we're going to use for our tiare design. And for this, I am going to, I'm just going to wait a second. Let's see. I can already see that the reflection on the nail is changing. It looks a little bit more wobbly. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but usually when polish is really, really wet, it has a clean reflection, like a mirror reflection. So if you looked at the light here, the shadow that it's casting, when the polish is wet, it creates like a clean shape of the light reflection. But when it's starting to dry, you get a little bit more texture, and then the light starts to look, or the reflection of the light starts to look a little wobbly. It doesn't look like perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and touch it. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds just because it's leaving a fingerprint. And that means if I press down with my stamper, my polish might get a little smudged and messy. Yeah, it's still a little wet, but let me show you what our design is going to look like. Oh, it's so cute. I can already see. Can you see? Isn't that fun? Let's see, is it dry enough? Almost. Couple more seconds. I applied a really thick coat. So if you apply a thinner coat, it'll probably, or no, it won't probably, it will dry faster. The reason I applied a thicker coat is because I have this gradient base underneath and I didn't want it to get messed up from me dragging the brush over the base. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. I just have to be very mindful of the way that I stamp. Okay, there we go. Yay, let me see. Oh my gosh, so pretty. And if you end up having a little bit of your design hanging off the edge like that, you can always file it. So have some weird things happening down here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it with polish. Yep, there we go. Okay, perfect. And look at that. So pretty. Hold on, let me file the edges so that way we can get some of that polish off. And then I'm gonna bring this a little closer to you so you can take a better look. So let me move all this other stuff out of the way. And then, oh, here. Maybe easier. Can you see it clearly? Right here. Like where can I put it so that we can see it nice and clear? There we go. I think that's a little better. But as you can see, we have a fun tropical anthurium design. So that is our first design. Then let me switch over to our second one. Again, for this one, we're gonna go ahead and apply our sticky base coat. If you have nail foil glue, you can use that too. Sometimes I like nail foil glue because if you're working on a lot of designs at the same time, then you can kind of set it and forget it. And it'll just stay sticky until you're ready to use it. But the only thing about the nail foil glue is because it's made from a different kind of base, because it's tacky like a glue, it sometimes won't last as long, especially if you're doing the whole nail covered. So the wearability can be a little bit tricky with it. You have to constantly like put top coat every couple of days and just be very careful when you're using your hands, unless you only use a very small amount, like in the center of the nail. Because again, just like how gel likes gel, polish likes polish. And that goes for pretty much most products. Like most nail products, they like to be paired with other same products. The only, I want to say there's like some exceptions for acrylic, some exceptions for hard gel, but that's a whole nother story. So let's see if this is dry enough, because I tried to do a thinner coat. Oh yeah. I think we're good. Okay. And again, if this happens, just go ahead and push this down. There we go. If your nail is wider than the design, that's easy enough to fix. All you have to do is take some black polish and then just paint those side spots. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my brush and just paint it because who's going to know? No one's going to know. Or you can stretch the design or use your shrinking and expanding stamper. But I'm using really wide demonstration tips. So there's that as well. But yeah, that's it for this design. High impact, very pretty. We have some beautiful tiare flowers. I love the way this came out. I really like this one a lot because it's just, again, very nice and bold. So far we have 2 designs that we did. Let's move on to our next plate. So for our next plate, we're going to be talking about M611. Here we are with these beautiful hibiscus. I know you guys want to see me do a little layering because what are these? I'm sure you're curious. I've been debating on doing a red hibiscus because that is the Hawaii state flower. If you didn't know, our state flower is a red hibiscus. And fun fact, sulcata tortoises, dryland tortoises, love them. It's one of their favorite foods. I used to have a tortoise when I was a kid. And they really, really like hibiscus flowers. And it was funny because I had a huge tree of it and I had no idea for quite a long time. So for this, I'm going to be taking cherry bomb and we're going to do this design. So we're going to do the layered parts. Let me see if I can move this in a way that isn't disturbing everything here. Maybe there. Okay, so we're going to go in with, yeah, now you can see these 3 better. We're going to go in with cherry bomb, and that's going to be our first layer. And so you can take this and create multiple like flowers on one design. So that way, oops, it didn't come out perfect. If it doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and add a little red polish. Right to the areas that it didn't fill. There you go. Good. Now I'm going to stamp it on. So there, I have my red hibiscus. Now I'm going to go and do this part with orange bursts. Well, actually, let me think this through. So, you can do things in different orders if you want. You don't have to follow this order. This will always be the base design, but you don't have to follow this order. It's up to you. But I am going to apply this orange next. And this is going to be, I don't want the orange to really stand out. I kind of want it to disappear. So I think this is going to be perfect. Then you're going to go ahead and line it up. Just like that. Can you see? And now we're going to go ahead and apply the last layer. And for the last layer, I'm going to do it in the color leather. So you can either use black if you want, a dark red. I like this color because it's like a really perfect dark red. And then I'm just going to take away. Then if you want, you can go ahead and stamp the stem. It's underneath, but I don't want the stem. And then this is what it looks like. Oh my gosh, so cute. Look. Look at how cute she is. Very, very pretty. So we also have flowers here that are two-step layering, and you can go ahead and add that if you want. I think I am gonna add more hibiscus because it just looks so fun, and we can go ahead and make a little like border along the base of the nail. So for this, I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna repeat this actually. I was gonna use these, but now that I'm looking at it, I was like, I really like the way that this came out. So I think I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Fun fact, I used to work at a nail salon a very, very long time ago, and their signature design was hibiscus. So we would have to paint hibiscus for clients all the time. That was pretty much the only nail art that I did there because that was their signature style. It was very Hawaii themed and very geared towards, people who are visiting and wanted something fun and tropical. So I did like several hibiscus a day. And back then, mind you, this is over 10 years ago, they charged $14 for one finger to have hibiscus on it, like hand-painted hibiscus. And it would be 2 to 3 hibiscus per finger. Now, I'm gonna, I'm gonna do it like kitty corner. So I'm gonna basically make like this design. So we would paint all these hibiscus. I'd be painting hibiscus all day long on little kids, on elderly people, just like it was a really, really, really busy salon. And now you can have a plate and have as many hibiscus as you want instantly. And these look really, really nice. These are beautiful. And these look very realistic. So Maniology is helping you save money because I can't even explain how much clients would pay to have their nails done like that. And it was a lot. It was a lot. They charged, a lot of money. So Maniology, though, is giving you a whole plate so you can have hibiscus nails whenever you want. And Tiana knew that I was like slightly traumatized after from painting so many hibiscus, so many flowers nonstop. I never wanted to see a hibiscus after that. But it's been over a decade and I've healed, I've grown. I feel a lot better about hibiscus. I think they're really cute. I'm happy that they're in for summer. They're a pretty flower. I always thought they were a pretty flower. I just spent so much time painting them for years at a certain period of my life, all day, every day. So it's so fun that now I get to come back and try and do this again for you, or create hibiscus nail art, but in a different way. So if you don't know what kind of arrangement to do with your hibiscus, if you're doing like an individual thing like that, you can always do just like 2 like this, or you can create like a zigzag. So it'd be like 3, so 1 here, and 1 here. And that always looks pretty because it's just got like a nice balance. So let me move this stuff out of the way and then I can show you what the design looks like. So cute. So that is our first design for our hibiscus plate. And I forgot to tell you, the base is from Moonbeams. It's one of the Moonbeams polishes. B166. Such a pretty color. It's got this goldish, shimmery, sparkly finish. Let's see, what other design should we do? Since I showed you how to do the layering, I really like this little hibiscus lei. That's so cute. I don't know, it's so hard. Because I also like the big hibiscus. I really want to do the big hibiscus, but I wanted to do it in red and we already did some red hibiscus, so I might have to switch it up and think of something different. You know what? Let's do the lei because you could create a really cute French with this. And yeah, I want to create a French design. So again, for this, when you're doing flower outlines, you can use black, but I don't really recommend it. It just depends what the flower is going to look like. For example, this, the design that I'm choosing, it's a really small design, meaning there's not a lot of space for coloring. There's a lot of tiny details. Because of that, I don't want to choose black because the black is going to be really overwhelming. So I'm choosing a black dupe, which is leather. You could also use any other black dupe you want, but I think that would be a better choice than going in with something super duper harsh, like straight up black. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and use that Waikiki peachy color. And then my detail brush. Actually, you know what? Let's just use a bunch of colors. Use carnation. And then maybe this orange too. We'll see. I don't think I like that orange. I think I just want to use these 2 colors. Or let me see. Oh no. I want to do a bunch of pinks. My grandmother had a huge hibiscus tree at her house, or like hibiscus bush, because they're basically bushes. And it was my great-grandmother's favorite hibiscus, and it was called Sexy Pink. That's the name of the actual flower, because there are so many types of hibiscus, so many, and they're all stunning and beautiful. There are lots of hybrids. I've seen some really cool ones. I'll never forget, I went to like a flower show at an elementary school. It was very random. And that was the first time I saw so many unique hybrid hibiscus, because the ones that you usually see like just growing in Hawaii, are red most of the time. And I don't even feel like I see them often. There's red ones, yellow ones, pink ones, like literally these 3 colors that I'm using here. Those are very popular colors for hibiscus flowers. But I've seen ones that are like a purple, a really dark purple color. I've even seen like black ones. But this one random show that I went to at the elementary school, this lady had a farm and she sold the plants. She made a bunch of different hybrids and then she sold them. And the hybrids, the plants are really pricey. Also, hibiscus love high heat. They love a lot of full sun. Ooh, I didn't actually want it to be like that, but now I'm gonna have to go ahead and just make it work. So they love a lot of heat and full sun. So I feel like they would do well in places like maybe Las Vegas or just places that get really hot. They thrive in that kind of weather. I don't think hibiscus would survive in a place like Portland, Oregon. Like Pacific Northwest, no, it's too wet and cold over there. Even like Texas, I feel like it might do well. So then this is our little hibiscus lei. So you can do this many ways. Let me show you what I mean. So you could stamp it like this at the base of the nail, like that, and then have a chain that way. Or you could go higher and you could take the French plate and stamp your French in whatever color and then have this, oh, whoops, have it like this. So that way it outlines your French. So again, we can do it here, we can do it here, or if you want it to be the lei effect, you could do it like this. You could even do double layers of it if you wanted. Lots and lots of options. Yeah, but it's very, very pretty. So once this dries, we're going to go ahead and transfer. It might take a second because some of the polish here is a little bit thick. So for now, I think I'm just going to put this on the side. And then we're going to move over to our last set of designs. So our last 2 is going to be with our M606 Orchid plate. There we go. So let me show you what it looks like up close. You guys must be wondering, like, what is this? So if you look up orchid nails on Pinterest, or if you just in general look at an orchid, orchids have all these little like lines in here, right? We can see these little lines and dots. Here's another example. A lot of orchids have these little dots in them. So this is like the macro of that flower. So the fun thing about this is this design here, I'm going to show you guys how to use. You can use this design 3 different ways. You can either use just this portion. You could use this portion as a French. So a lot of people were doing that. They'll do a French like version, or you could use it all together. So I'm going to show you guys how to do these 2. Well, you'll see. You'll see. You'll see very soon. So let's check on this. Almost, not quite. For this design, you're going to need a sponge. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my sponge. Then you're going to have something like this. Now you're going to want to go ahead and take a few different polishes. So I painted the base of this nail coconut, and then we're gonna go ahead and use Monarch Dream and then another purpley pink polish, and also Shatter, a dark purple. Or you could use leather. I'm debating. I might use Shatter, I might use leather. I'm not fully set yet what I want to use for that. But let's go ahead and use our cream polish again. So you're going to want to take your coconut and we're going to put it here. Then you're going to want to grab your Monarch Dream and put it here. And then you're going to want to grab your purpley pink color and apply it at the tip, just like that. I'm going to actually go ahead and apply more coconut because I feel like I might have played too much of Monarch. So I kind of did it in like a slight arch. Now you're going to want to go ahead and tap that out just a little bit. So we have a nice gradient, and then we're going to tap that over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do another layer of that. So start with our pink polish. And then we're going to go ahead with our Monarch Dream. And then our coconut. Whoops. This time I'm just going to go right ahead. So, whoops. I have something like this. And if you want to make any adjustments, like I kind of want more of that kind of purpley color at the top, the purpley pink. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of sponge a little bit of that out. There we go. So now I have a nice purpley pink there, and no, oh, I see. The other side I might have dragged it down a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good. I think I can leave it alone. So let's go ahead and look at this design now. We're going to go back to our hibiscus design. I think this is, yep, that's dry now. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it here, or no, yeah, I like it here. Oh no, I have a little black stuff that got stuck. Oh, I was able to just scrape it off because the base is really dry. And that's it for our hibiscus plate. Isn't that cute? I really like the way that this turned out. I like the color combo. So that's our 2 hibiscus flower designs. let's do our orchid design, because I'm sure you guys are very curious about what that's going to look like. So I'm going to put a little bib under here. I don't want to get it dirty. And then now let's go ahead and grab this polish. You know what? I really like the way leather looks. I'm going to go with leather. I don't want to use shatter. Even though I know I said I was going to earlier. I changed my mind. You can use shatter if you want. Again, you can use whatever colors. There are so many options. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the polish in a U shape. Then I'm going to flip the plate upside down so that way when I scrape, oh wait, no. Hold on. There we go. Let's try now. Almost forgot about that center line. Perfect. Yes. So go ahead and remove any extra little dots, lines, all that stuff. Okay, that looks really good. Got some weird things happening here. That's okay. You do. Just go ahead and fill it. And that's how you use part of the design. So if you're just trying to do a French, then you could do a French like this. And then for the other fingers, you can go ahead and stamp orchids. This is so that way this gives you a complete look, because sometimes you don't want to just have the orchid on your nails. Sometimes you want like a macro version of it, a more abstract version, so that way it kind of creates more interest for your manicure. So that's how you use the top part. Now this is how you would go ahead and stamp the bottom part if you want that. I really like this as is. I kind of don't want to, but I'm going to do it for you guys anyways. So you can see. I really like it as just like this though. That's so cute. Okay, so I'm going to switch my stamper. And then you're going to grab your leather polish again. This time I'm just going to put it on this half of the design. Okay, I need to remove this line in the center and some of these dots over here. So again, you don't have to use it like this. If you, for example, if you just want the French, you can. If you want more, you can. This is a choose your own design. And I absolutely recommend stamping with one eye closed when you're doing this kind of stuff. Oh no. Aw. Let's see if I can put her back. No, not wanting to participate. Oh, whoops. Accidentally whacked you guys. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so we're just gonna rip that part off. But that's also, you can stamp it like this so that way you have the print on the top and the bottom. You could even just do the bottom if you want and have the gradient going from here up. So there are many ways to play with this design. It's super cute. I actually really like this, and I really like the color combo of this as well. I am happy I stuck to my guns with leather. I don't know if I would have liked it as much with shatter, but that's just me. So this is what the macro orchid looks like. Now let's go ahead and focus on the other parts because I'm sure you're curious to see what that is about. Also, now I'm like, wait, why did I do it? Oh, yeah. So I chose black, but part of me is like, wait, I was thinking I wanted to do black orchids over this because that'd be super cute. But now I have regrets and I want to use coconut instead because I want it to match this. So we're going to switch over and we're going to use coconut. And to speed things up, I'm going to go ahead and sponge on the base so that way it makes it a little faster. Because I don't have time to wait and neither do you. So I'm just going to apply, remove that black tip. Orchids are so pretty. I love how there are thousands of different species and varieties, and they're all so unique and special. So we're just going to sponge on coconut so that way we can quickly create a nice base and then we can start stamping because I have so many fun things that I want to do. We're going to be using all these layered orchids and we're basically going to create our own pattern. So here we go. That is almost dry. I'm going to cheat a little and like blow on it. If you have a fan nearby, go ahead and do that. I decided to keep the fan off so that way I wouldn't accidentally dry out the polish. Okay, that looks pretty good. If you're wondering what's that black thing underneath, it's the tip stand. Like, should I do one more layer for good measure? I just want to start stamping already. Okay, I did one more layer for good measure. So now let's go ahead and start stamping all the fun things that we want to do. I want to use similar colors to the orchid image that I showed you guys. So let me put our bib underneath. So I think I want to start with this orchid here at the top. And then I'm just going to pick that up. Oh, with a clean stamper. My stamper was not clean, if you didn't catch that. I said a clean stamper and then instantly realized my stamper was not ready. And I'm going to just create my own pattern. So there we go. You know what? Because I know that my base is going to be leather, or sorry, my outlines are going to be in leather, I'm just going to go ahead and start stamping to my heart's content. So give me a few more moments and we're almost done. I know you guys have been so patient. So I'm almost finished with this, I promise. You guys have been just hanging out with me for a while and I know you guys are like, when is this going to end? Okay, so I'm going to do one here. And then I think I know it's not really in there, but I wanted like a kind of, never mind. I was like, I kind of wanted like to use this Jungle Mirage, but I think it's a little too yellowy than what I wanted. So I'm going to pivot. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go for, maybe I will go for leather. I have an idea. For this, I'm not even going to use the base. I'm just going to use, well, you know what? No. Let me do my outlines first before I make some decisions that I may regret later. So I'm going to grab this design and I'm going to just do my outline. Watch her come to life. Isn't that cute? And I have had to hand paint orchids as well. I've done a lot of orchid designs, especially I feel like this year. Yeah. And actually, no, for the past 2 years, I've been doing a lot of orchid stuff. This plate is a godsend. I don't know. Did I make this plate for you guys or did I make it for myself? We'll never know. But I'm happy that you guys love it because I have noticed that it's been doing really well. It's been selling like hotcakes. So you guys are definitely into it as well. Super stoked for you because it is a pain in the butt to constantly have to paint orchids by hand. So if you can stamp them, that makes life so much easier. And then I wanted to just, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to be a big girl and take a risk. And we're going to just stamp this. I don't even want to put a base. I just want to stamp it as is. Because I want the base to be that cream color. And then I don't know what kind of, maybe for the top, I'll do the same thing, but maybe we'll shoot for this design here. Or, well, maybe I'll go for this one because it's got like spots and it's a little different. Plus the shapes will look nice together. So I'm just going to go ahead. No base for this. We're just doing the outline. I'm going to stamp her right here. Like that. So cute. I like the way it came out. Okay. Let me clear all this stuff off and show you guys the final results and then say goodbye because you guys have been here for a long time with me and I feel bad. So take a look. These are all the designs we did. And I think it looks fabulous. So make sure you guys check out those plates and I hope you have an amazing week. Thank you for sticking around and being patient with me. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye, everyone.